30 Bible verses about sacrifice. Romans chapter 12 verse 1. I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. John chapter 15 verse 13. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 18. For Christ also hath once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to God. Hebrews chapter 13 verse 15. By him therefore let us offer the sacrifice of praise to God continually, that is, the fruit of our lips giving thanks to his name. 1 Samuel chapter 15 verse 22. And Samuel said, Hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice. 2 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 7. Every man according as he purposeth in his heart, so let him give, not grudgingly, or of necessity. For God loveth a cheerful giver. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 2. And walk in love, as Christ also hath loved us, and hath given himself for us an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet-smelling savor. Hebrews chapter 9 verse 26. For then must he often have suffered since the foundation of the world. But now once in the end of the world hath he appeared to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself. 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 5. Ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house, and holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices, acceptable to God by Jesus Christ. Hebrews chapter 13 verse 16. But to do good and to communicate forget not. For with such sacrifices God is well pleased. Genesis chapter 22 verse 13. And Abraham lifted up his eyes, and looked, and behold behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram, and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. Galatians chapter 2 verse 20. I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless I live. Yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh I live by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me, and gave himself for me. Philippians chapter 2 verse 17. Yea, and if I be offered upon the sacrifice and service of your faith, I joy, and rejoice with you all. Leviticus chapter 1 verse 3. If his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord. Psalm chapter 51 verse 17. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart, O God, thou wilt not despise. Hebrews chapter 10 verse 12. But this man, after he had offered one sacrifice for sins forever, sat down on the right hand of God. Micah chapter 6 verse 6. Wherewith shall I come before the Lord, and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves of a year old? Hebrews chapter 10 verse 14. For by one offering he hath perfected forever them that are sanctified. Psalm chapter 50 verse 14. Offer unto God thanksgiving, and pay thy vows unto the Most High. Hebrews chapter 10 verse 10. By the which will we are sanctified through the offering of the body of Jesus Christ once for all. Leviticus chapter 17 verse 11. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul. Exodus chapter 29 verse 18. And thou shalt burn the whole ram upon the altar. It is a burnt offering unto the Lord. It is a sweet savor, an offering made by fire unto the Lord. 1 John chapter 2 verse 2. And he is the propitiation for our sins, and not for ours only, but also for the sins of the whole world. Isaiah chapter 53 verse 10. Yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him. He hath put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. Leviticus chapter 7 verse 37. This is the law of the burnt offering, of the meat offering, and of the sin offering, and of the trespass offering, and of the consecrations, and of the sacrifice of the peace offerings. Hebrews chapter 9 verse 14. How much more shall the blood of Christ, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to God, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living God? Mark chapter 12 verse 33. And to love him with all the heart, and with all the understanding, and with all the soul, and with all the strength, and to love his neighbor as himself, is more than all whole burnt offerings and sacrifices. Proverbs chapter 21 verse 3. To do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. Hosea chapter 6 verse 6. For I desired mercy, and not sacrifice, and the knowledge of God more than burnt offerings. 1 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 7. Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Christ our Passover is sacrificed for us.